Hello, I'm ready for part 2 of Chapter 4's lecture, where I'm going to be talking about the note-taking method, which is what you would be doing during class. Effective notes cover all of the important parts of the lecture or reading material without being too detailed or too limited. So the note-taking format that I want to share with you is the Cornell format. It is the best known method for organizing notes. Like I said, there are other note-taking methods that are listed in the book, but this is the one that goes with the activity that we're going to do. Once again, you have notes that I gave you tonight. It's U.S. history, notes about the beginning of the U.S. Revolutionary War, or the Revolutionary War. It wasn't the United States at that point. And it goes past that in history, but I felt like that would be something that would be something we would all understand what it was, the content is what I'm trying to say. It's of course history. And to start with, we're going to be folding a piece of paper, which you'll see this on the other YouTubes that I have placed in Chapter 4. The other YouTubes are not me. Other people that I found on YouTube that demonstrate how to do this method, and both of those are very informative. I just took a sheet of regular notebook paper, and the lady on one of the YouTubes showed how to draw an I, and I think the other guy said something about drawing a T. I just folded my notebook paper, and of course you can use just the white typing paper if you want to. I folded it just a little bit from the end on one side, and then I folded a little bit up from the bottom. So what I created, and I can't get it to show on my camera, I drew, which I don't know how well you guys can see this, the second red line. The first one obviously is what's already there. The second red line, and then the line at the bottom. Okay, here are my notes, and I started in this column, and I put down the main ideas, which I put, well, you can see what I put there, and then I started writing notes here about that particular event, and then I went down and did the Boston Tea Party here, and I wrote some information about it, and that's as far as I've gotten so far. My other thing is the battles in 1775 of Lexington and Concord, and then I'm going to need to summarize, which I haven't done that yet, but I'm going to summarize, put some information in this box about the information here. Now, yes, I could be more detailed. The main thing is keywords, key dates, enough information that you can remember when you go back and study it. Probably as a summary, I would say something about the events. Each of these events led up to the beginning of the Revolutionary War, where the American colonies were fighting against the British for their freedom. And I hopefully will have more to show you, but I want you guys to come up. I don't want to do it all for you. I want you to come up with your own way of taking notes on that material. So once again, you're going to read the material that I gave you, the packet about American history. It starts with the Revolutionary War. It's just a few things about the Revolutionary War, some main key points there. Talks about the Boston Tea Party, the battles of Lexington and Concord, and then the next section is the Declaration of Independence. And then it goes on, but it doesn't really go into that much detail. It goes on to after the war, once they became free from England. The Bill of Rights is the next section. and then it goes on from there all the way through to the War of 1812, where the U.S. declared war on Britain. And that, for those of you who trivia buffs, that is when the Star-Spangled Banner was penned by Francis Scott Key, which he wrote the poem, The Star-Spangled Banner. Interesting little tidbit there. You will probably have at least 2 or 3 pages like this, depending. I write big, so I would probably maybe have 5. And there again, writing is not something I mind. There again, it's one of my learning styles. I don't mind writing. You might write smaller, so you would not probably have as many sheets as I do. If you use typing paper, you'll have more space because that paper is just obviously larger. Please ask me questions. It's hard to get any feedback since I'm not talking to you in the live class, to hear questions that you might be thinking right now. So ask, because I need to hear questions from you, if you have any, about how to do this. So practice using the Cornell note-taking method. You've seen, hopefully by now, you've looked at the other 2 videos that I found on YouTube, plus what I've provided, and then the packet on U.S. history, starting with the Revolutionary War, the Boston Massacre, and going through to the War of 1812. That's really covering about, well, it's more than 50 years. I can't add that or do it in my head real quick, but from 1770 to 1812, you can figure out how much time that is. That's really a lot of time when you're thinking about history and all the events that led up to the Revolutionary War and then after that. Okay, the last part of Chapter 4 is the after class. After class, what you need to do is review your notes. Now, in the college success class that you are taking with me, we don't take a lot of paper pencil notes. We can, depending on our topic. So far we haven't, because we've been running at a breakneck speed trying to get through the content in the first few chapters. But if you were in a history class or a science class, you would review your notes. Another class would be psychology. Write down the main ideas, which there again, you can review your main ideas that are in this column. This is the main idea column. One strategy is repeat your ideas out loud. Read your notes out loud. Sometimes just reading out loud, and if you want to even record yourself like I'm doing. Boy, you learn a lot about how you speak and how you talk when you listen to yourself in a recording. Review your notes from the previous class just before the next class. And then compare notes with other students is a good strategy. Complete book work, that's another word for homework. I'm trying to make it sound a little more pleasant. Complete the book work and assignments that you were assigned, and ask questions. Please, I want to hear from you. In this type of setting where I'm doing the lecture, I'm not able to hear what you all need to be asking, so you're going to have to email me, text me, put it in the discussion forum would be obviously the best way, because the discussion forum is going to be right there in Chapter 4. What questions do you have about taking notes? Like I said, Chapter 4 is divided into before class, during class, and after class. We're focusing more with this note-taking method on during class. But the other parts of Chapter 4 are important too. How do you prepare before? By reading the chapter, watching the PowerPoint, going over any handouts. How do you prepare after? Review your notes, say them out loud, read them out loud, compare notes with other students, and complete any book work or assignments that you have. Ask questions please email me, write them in the discussion forum. If you want to, just write them down on a piece of paper and ask me next class. Have a great week, and I will see you soon.